Welcome to the part two of the average NBA fans mock draft 2023. Let's quickly move on to the sixth pick. Who do you think is Orlando Magic going to pick for the team? Is it going to be another big guard?
For me, yes. They're going to add to their gauntlet of cards. They already have Gary Harris, Markel Fultz. They have Jalen Suggs from the previous drafts. They keep Cole Anthony. They keep drafting guards, and I think they're just going to add on to that with Anthony Black. They refuse to have other positions and to improve their depth on those. And they already have four guards. They're going to add to that. They love their guards. They're going to stay true to their nature. Um, Other than that, he's a really good player. I think he has good off-ball defense, on-ball defense. He's a good floor general. Uh, he didn't have the most points or anything, but I think his game will translate very well to the NBA since he's a decent 3 point shooter as well. And he has good wingspan, good size for his position. I think he'll transition better into the NBA role, and especially on a team like Orlando where it's hard to mess up. I think he'll do well.
Definitely, and I think that overall they need to make a decision with Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony. I think Jalen Suggs does come off the bench. I think, or even starts for them on this as the second, and probably Anthony Black comes off as the bench for his rookie season and for the start of the season. I think they really want to give Markel Fultz a run, and with the kind of season Markel Fultz had when he was healthy, I mean, it really showed a lot of promise for this Orlando Magic team, and they have shooters to accompany Fultz and Anthony Black. So I really think that the sixth pick, Anthony Black, could make a good difference for them. I think they wanted Jalen Suggs to be that point guard. He obviously did not pan out to be as good, but at the same point in time, I think they're still one of the better young, teams with Paolo and Franz Wagner.
Yeah, the only problem with Anthony Black, to be very honest, is the spacing that he does not provide to the team. I think so. That's the only problem, that he is not a very good off the ball shooter or side step shooter. But I think so that is something that the Orlando Magic will have to see, considering that they have good cards and they have drafted good cards in the previous draft seasons. But let's quickly move on to the next team. Who do you think is coming to the Indiana Pacers?
I think Indiana Pacers really need to. I think they would be hell bent on getting Azor, but I think it's a blessing in disguise for them to for Azor to actually fall to them. I think he is one of the best complementary players right now. I think some NBA drafts analysts really see him as a better prospect than his twin brother, but at the same point in time, I think he's a really good player to pair up alongside Tyrese Halliburton. I think it's one of those great young pairings of a guard and a wing slash taller guard. I mean, Azor has it all, right? He has the defensive capabilities. He has the slashing. I think the only thing he needs to improve is his shooting. But with a guard like Tyrese, you're getting open looks, you're getting good chances. I think Tyrese and him could probably be like the league pass team of the next season. I think Tyrese really made the Indiana Pacers look fun after a lot of years of Miles Turner and Sabonis. I think he made that entire team look fun, and I can't wait to watch. I can't wait for them to get Azor and like them to be an elite, fun, and just a young team to watch next season.
I think for me, it could be Kobe Buffkin. His draft stock has risen like late in the draft. He's he shows different shades of like different players to me. He's sort of quick. He has that athleticism, but he also has that feel for that game. He can play like multiple positions for me because he's like 6'4". He's in between there, so he can probably play the two or the three. uh, but he has good wingspan for his size, so he could probably just fit in for that four, because they also have like Miles Turner in the back, right? So he can basically plug in anywhere really on your roster, and I think with where Pacers are, they'd probably prefer the flexibility of Kobe Buffkin because he has a lot of different assets and different like values to him, which can be helpful to the Pacers, I think.
I think so. Jarvis Walker will be picked better in terms of the other player. The thing is that he can fill any holes in any team, and Pacers are not looking to fill any holes as much, but they have a good team at the moment. Another addition to their team would be better. Talking forward. let's quickly move on to the next team. Who do you think is the Washington going to pick?
I think Washington Wizards need to figure their shit out really badly. So, obviously they traded Bradley Beal away, right? But the problem is that the last couple of draft picks have not really hit. So Johnny Davis uh, just seemed like a bust right now. I mean, he's not been playing at all. He was a top 10 pick and he hasn't showed us anything at all, right? Denny Avdi at the same point in time, I mean, he was seen as like amazing for the Washington Wizards because he actually fell to them at I think 7, and the Knicks really wanted to pick him up at 8, then but they obviously picked him up before that, and Denny had a lot of hype coming out of Israel, but at the same point in time he has not panned out. He's been a good defender, but not at all kind of scorer, the kind of shooter, and I think they really need to pick someone who can who might have the potential to be a really good player overall, than just be someone who's ready to come into a team and just be a contributor. I think they need to overfit again. They need to take a potential player, and I think that potential player can probably be a player like Taylor Hendricks, because I think I see him as a good wing. I see that team probably losing Kyle Kuzma, probably losing a lot of creativity, probably losing a lot of shot making with Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma. I think he can play with Denny and play with Kristaps. I see Gafford as more of a player coming off the bench. So I mean, and then again, you can still give Johnny Davis some shot, and the idea behind them is probably going to be tanking for another season. So I think taking a shot with Taylor Hendricks would probably give them some kind of hope to the fans. Obviously, being a wing, be having some shot making capabilities, obviously bringing some excitement back to that Washington Wizards team after that Westbrook season. But yeah, I think they need to go for the potential right now.
Damn, you really stole my pick as well. Like I was looking at Taylor as well. But more to your point, I think Washington has a lot of stuff to figure out right now. With CP3 coming to them, they're looking to trade him to the maybe the Clippers. Who are they looking to acquire? I think a lot is up in the air for the Wizards, and I think it's hard to make a pick for them since you really don't know which positions they'll really be needing to fill. But I think Taylor again is a versatile player. He's a good forward, and this is a league of good forwards right now. And I think he has good positional versatility. Also, with that 3 point percentage, it's a three league right now with the way that everybody's trying to shoot you out of the game. That 39% shooting, that's a bonus for a wing to shoot like that. I don't think you get a lot of players with that size and that shooting, those capabilities. So I think you always bet on those players. um, Plus, like, even if you're looking to in the future maybe trade him for some other position or something else, right, that gives you a good leverage as well, since there's a shortage of good wings who can shoot, right?
Right, I agree with both of you. I mean, he could be a great pick for the Washington Wizards, so considering the draft probability and considering that they do not have Bradley Beal right now as well. Let's quickly move on to the next team. Who is the Utah Jazz going to pick up?
I want to take this one. I think Utah and Danny Ainge have had spicy takes. I think Danny Ainge has been one of those guys. He obviously got the good picks right, but there were a lot of misses too. But I think Danny Ainge is going to make this draft really exciting. I I think that Danny Ainge is with the ninth pick going to take Bilal Coulibaly from the Mets team, teammate of Victor Wembanyama. I mean, his draft stock has been flying up after with their finals, and obviously didn't win the finals, and obviously had Victor Wembanyama, but you just had Victor commenting and tweeting out that Bilal is going to be top 5 in this NBA draft. He's not played a lot of minutes in the regular season, but at the same point in time, he obviously played a lot of time in the finals. He has been just a fast prospect, and with the Jazz team again, I think that it's probably going to be another season of tanking. They have a lot of players who already have potential. It was a very fun team to watch with Laurie Marketed. And I think just having a lot of fun players with that team, with the kind of draft picks they have, with the kind of youth they have moving forward, I think they need to take someone who, can just bring fun to that team, a fun element. They don't need to take a higher flyer. I think they can take a high flyer. Sorry. I think they can take a higher flyer with the Bilal Koulibaly. And who knows? I mean, this is a player, the international draft picks this season have been out of the roof, and a teammate of Victor Wembanyama, who knows what happens 4 years down the line. But at the same point in time, I think he's shown a lot of potential. I think he's shown that he can play in a grown man's league. Obviously, the LNB is nowhere near the NBA or even G League, but I think he is someone who's intriguing with the defense, someone who can play with Lowry and probably push him to the four and play at the three.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really considering all those things, but I had maybe just the talent pick on Jerace Walker, maybe because I had already slipped him down from the seventh pick, so I was thinking he doesn't fall much farther than that because he has good size, he has good interior work, right? It's not really a good 3-point shot right now, but maybe you can develop that because Utah really isn't looking to win right now, right? They're looking to develop their talent. They have a lot of young players, and I think he could pair up well on that team. Uh, they got a really good pick last year, and I think they might go for Jerez just because he provides that versatility on that wing position again. Um, and the 3-pointer is something to watch for. Maybe that's the reason why he sort of maybe falls further, but I doubt that. Just like you said, athleticism, he has that. He has good feel for the game, and I think he goes uh, to the Jazz.
Uh, I I I think that Bilal Coulibaly is coming to the Jazz with the kind of defensive production that he has. I think so that would be a better position for him to play in, or a better team to play in, since he's good defensively and has that offensive flashes as well. But yeah, quickly moving on to the next team. Who are the Dallas Mavericks going to pick?
I think Dallas has a lot of players according to our mock draft. They have a lot of players falling to them, but I see no one other than Cam Whitmore. I mean, a player like who can slash, who can play with Luka Doncic, who's going to get a lot of open baskets, who's going to get a lot of runs to the rim. I think he's the perfect fit with the Luka. If Kyrie stays on the team, he can probably play with the both of them. He is not the best dribbler and not the best shooter, but at the same point in time, you're going to get a lot of open looks with those two playing and with those two just playing off balls. But at the same point in time, I mean, Cam Whitmore, you cannot let him fall out of the top 10. I think he was a projected top five pick, projected top five, top six pick coming into the season, and at the same point in time, I think his draft, a lot of analysts see him as probably the sixth or seventh best player in the draft. So I don't think the Dallas Mavericks can go wrong taking him 10th.
I think Whitmore's stock has sort of fallen in the recent days, but I think you're likely right with that pick. But weren't they just gonna draft Grady Dick at that position? But he's fallen off like significantly due to his workouts or something. But with him, I think you're getting a great player, and it's just not that. Uh, I think he has a unique thing. He fights. He has that hustle in him. Like we used to say, or we're used to saying that he's got that dog in him. He's probably that pick if you're looking for someone who is ready to go because of the team that the Mavericks are right now. You know, they're probably looking to win right now, and he can provide that versatility. They're not looking for a scorer. They're not looking for a 3-point shooter, maybe because they have enough shooting on that team. They have enough offense on that team. They're probably looking for a plug and play guy, and he's a good big wing who can plug a lot of holes, and he can provide a little bit of offense, and then he has that athleticism, and I think they'd be more likely to use him on the defensive end. So he has good wingspan and good size to be a good forward there. Maybe play at the three, maybe not four, but really, the Mavericks lack a lot of defense, and I think he could provide some help there. Because I feel like he has that dog in him, he has that hustle, so I think he'll be more likely to adapt to any role and to get with the program.
I think so. I'll be picking Grady Dick for this one, because he has that. He's also a hustler, right? And he's a good shooting player, and he's a great shooter of the ball. And talking about, he can make the plays moving in, and he's a talented playmaker who can hang in the air and fire pull-eye passes to spot of shooters and cutters. And I think so that is a that is a great ability which the Dallas Mavericks would be looking on to add from the bench coming in after probably the big stars that are coming in, that play for them. I think so that could make a very good addition to the Dallas Mavericks team.
Yeah, the only issue I have with that is that I think the two players that they have at the very center of their team are very ball dominant, and a rookie probably is not going to get that many touches. Another thing would be, I think they're a very similar team to the Washington Wizards, not in the talent stream, but in a team wherein they're very up in the air as to what they're going to do. Are they going to acquire vets? Are they looking to win right now? Are they going to trade Kyrie? Is Kyrie gone or is Kyrie staying?
I think
And like, what's
more in the
happening?
sense of they also need to get their shit together right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's really up in the air what's gonna happen with them as well.
All right, guys, that's it for the top 10 NBA drafts. Thank you so much for listening and watching to this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Peace.